Hello and welcome. You're watching NewsX and I'm Megha Sharma. There are fast-paced developments that are taking place on the economic front between European nations and India. The very recent implementation of TEPA, which is the Trade and Economic Partnership Agreement between the EFTA nations and India, has taken place. Norway is an integral part of EFTA. In fact, there are fast-paced developments and great momentum building between India and European Union in the desire to sign the free trade agreement, hopefully by the end of the year or early 2026. This all is coinciding with the trade war that has been waged by United States of America, led by US President Donald Trump. There are many who are touting it, calling it as the Trump accelerator effect. We're going to discuss all this and more with the Norwegian Ambassador to India, Her Excellency May-Elin Stener. Your Excellency, thank you very much for joining me, speaking to us on NewsX. And my first question is, of course, going to be about the TEPA that has been signed, that was signed last year. It has been implemented just a couple of months ago. What is the direct impact it will have when it comes to Norway and India trade, investment, and economic relations?
Well, thank you very much for having me here. Let me first say the Trade and Economic Partnership Agreement between EFTA and India. For us in Norway, it's a milestone. It's a very important part of the development between our two countries. We already see a lot of interest. We've seen that since the signing of the treaty from Norwegian companies looking to India for trade and investment. And in terms of the impact, that is also happening as we speak. The tariff lines are going to be put down in a period of 5 years, and there will be most of the tariff lines on goods from India to Norway will be zero in 5 years. And most of the tariff lines from Norway to India, the same. It's over 90%. One example that is important for consumers is Norwegian salmon. Norwegian salmon in its frozen form is already put down to zero tariffs, so it's already cheaper for Indian consumer. And Norwegian seafood in general will lose all tariffs in the next 5 years, and we see a lot of interest from Norwegian seafood industries to come to India and expand their businesses here. So that's some of the short-term impact that we see already. I would also like to emphasize that it's not only a trade agreement, it's a partnership agreement, which means also that the partnership between our countries, between our businesses, between our people will increase. It's also a new area where we can sit down and talk about how to work on the climate change challenges, how to create more green energy, how to tackle the rights for laborers, and so on and so forth.
Absolutely. Now, there is an ambitious target that has been set, commitment to increase investment to the tune of $100 billion American dollars, US dollars. Also talking about creating 1 million direct jobs over a period of 15 years. Which are these specific areas, specific sectors in which there is potential to increase trade and investment?
Well, there are about 160 Norwegian companies represented in India now. That's a number that has doubled in the last 10 years. So that's already showing the interest. And they are across all sectors. But the most important sectors are the maritime and marine industries and green energy and the energy industries. And also in terms of waste management and circular economy, we also see a lot of interest.
Also, you know, when we talk about the direct impact that TEPA is going to have when it comes to investments, when it comes to trade, economic ties, import of goods and services from Norway, Indian investment coming to Norway. How do you see this impact is going to translate in improving economic ties?
Well, in terms of investments, I'm very proud to say that earlier this month, the first Norwegian company was listed at the National Stock Exchange in Mumbai. This is a company called Orkla India. In 2007 already, they acquired MTR Foods in Karnataka, and in 2021 they acquired Eastern in Kerala. So that's already big food brands and spice brands in India that are now being developed with money invested from Norway. So I think that's a very good example of something that will also happen quite a lot in the future. We also have a company called Kambi, and they are making sludge into biogas and biofertilizers. In terms of using a particular equipment. They opened up a big facility in Mumbai last year. They are now looking into opening a new facility in Pune, and they are also having discussion with the government of Kerala on investing there. So that's also a very good example where we can have a win-win situation, because the Norwegian technology can be used in a very good way here in India, and they can scale up and also then develop and take that back to Norway and the rest of the world. We also have a company called Crown LNG. So they are also investing as much as 125 million US dollars now in a terminal in Andhra to distribute LNG also in the rivers, and having a special module for that. So there are several examples of very good investments and very good cooperation in very crucial fields that we see.
There is the European Union India Free Trade Agreement negotiations that are taking place at a very fast pace. The momentum has increased monumentally. How is that going to impact Norway and India economic relations in conjunction with the TEPA that has been signed?
Well, Norway is not part of EU. We are an EFTA country. We are a very small country though, and we really believe in free trade. Free trade in the world has benefited us and our development hugely. And we also have a big trade agreement with the EU. So we are practically part of the EU if you speak in economic terms. So EU is also important for us, and we really believe that if EU and India also has an agreement, that will only benefit us, it will benefit the world.
Do you think there has been, like I just mentioned, a Trump accelerator effect because of the trade war that has been waged by the United States on countries from across continents, and Europe is one of them? Has it pushed countries, including Norway, the rest of the countries from the European Union, to move forward in building alternative, resilient supply chains between India and their respective nations, and on a macro level with the global South?
Well, the TEPA, the Trade and Economic Partnership Agreement we have with India, it was signed on 10 March 24. So before what you are calling the Trump effect. So whether that is a direct magnifier or not, it's not really up to me to say that. But I do think that Norwegian companies are more interested in India, and that is also part of the development of India and the growing importance of India, the growing economy of India. It's now the 4th biggest economy, and that is also why we are, of course, looking to India.
Talking about maritime cooperation, India and Norway have strong ties that go back decades. What are the new avenues that are being explored? In a way, you spoke about circular, sustainable economy. How can Norway help in building India's maritime goals?
Well, Norway is, as India, a big ocean nation. Our ocean area is almost as big as India, although we are smaller in many of the other aspects. We have been a shipping nation for hundreds of years, and also recently we have developed a lot of good and high-tech technologies in the shipping areas. We do provide a lot of parts for ships, and we have the technology for the design of ships. And we are taking that to India. It's being produced in India and exported to the rest of the world. So here we also see a very good cooperation between Norway and India. We see also that Norwegian ship owners and ship builders are now looking to India in a bigger degree to build ships in India. There are a couple of recent contracts that actually means that about 10% of Norwegian ships are now being built in India. And this is only a growing trend that we are seeing, and it's a very, very good development, because we also see the very big ambitions that the Indian government has on shipbuilding and in the maritime sector in generally, and we have a very great cooperation on that.
Do you also expect that in the course of the months, the years, in the future, there is going to be tariff and non-tariff barriers that are going to be significantly reduced because of the agreement that has been signed and implemented?
Well, I also said that at the outset, that the tariff barriers between Norway and India, they will effectively come down to almost zero in the next few years to come because of this agreement. And there is a great commitment from our side on that agreement, and we also see that commitment on the Indian side and also for those of the other EFTA countries. So I definitely expect that to happen, and I expect that this agreement will be a very important part of the ever-growing and getting closer connections between Norway and India.
You were recently, in fact yesterday, visited Goa for a work engagement. If you could tell us more about what is this cooperation dialogue that is happening between India and Norway?
Well, in Goa, you have the National Polar and Ocean Research Institute of India, and I was visiting them yesterday together with the Norwegian Polar Institute. And they have had a close cooperation for about 20 years, or since I believe early 2000s, and that is of course because of a growing interest from India in also polar research. We are seeing that in the Arctic, and Norway is an Arctic country. About 35% of our area is north of the Arctic Circle. So this is, of course, something that we have been interested in, and we have been engaged for a long time. But in the Arctic, we are also seeing that climate change is happening much faster than other places on the planet. The ice melting is 4 times faster than we see change other places. And this is very interesting also for Indian researchers. And they are sitting up there at the Norwegian island of Svalbard to research. And I have been there and see what the work they have been doing, and they have been showing me how the ice melting in the Arctic has a direct impact on the monsoons here in India. So we see that climate change affects one place on the planet, affects the whole planet. And this is why a very close cooperation and cooperation between our Polar Institute and on on this area is also very important. So that's why we had a very fruitful day yesterday in Goa to discuss these issues and how to take that cooperation further.
I do want to touch upon the Indo-Nordic Summit. Unfortunately, it could not take place earlier this year because of the tragic terror attack that took place in India. But what is the future of the Indo-Nordic Summit? Is it on the table? Is it going to happen early 2026?
Well, the Indo-Nordic Summit is definitely on the table, and we are expecting it to happen in 2026. And we are also in Norway because we are the host of the next Indo-Nordic Summit in Oslo, and we are really looking forward to receiving Prime Minister Modi in Norway next year. So definitely it will happen, and also the last month I've seen receiving two ministers from Norway here in India. There has been three ministers Indian ministers visiting Norway the last 6 months. So we see that there is a close exchange, and this is only leading up to the summit.
What are the key goals that are going to be on the agenda for the 2026 Indo-Nordic Summit?
Well, the close cooperation that we have between our countries is, of course, something that will be sealed and taken forward during this summit. The issues that we have discussed right now, and particularly linked to the Trade and Economic Partnership Agreement, will be in the center of the discussion, and that is something that we are looking forward to.
Okay. I finally want to ask you about the Ukraine-Russia conflict. Norway has an extended border that it shares with Russia. There have been tensions, but at the same time, traditionally, trade in fisheries that has happened. Norway, being an integral NATO partner, has also raised its discontent on Russia's aggression on Ukraine. There have been the airspace of Norway that has been invaded. In the past, I think it's happened in September 3 times at least. What is Norway's stance in the current scheme of things where the Americans are trying to negotiate a peace deal?
Well, this is of course a crucial issue for us. As you are mentioning, Russia is also our neighbor, and they have been invading another neighbor. So for us, it's only to support Ukraine. And in the current discussions these days, we are very favorable towards peace, but the peace also has to happen on Ukraine's terms. They have to be part of the discussions. They have to be listened to. So this is what we are supporting them on.
Your Excellency Stener, thank you very much for joining me, for speaking to us on NewsX.
Thank you very much for having me.